Everybody's talking about what's working on Meta right now, but what matters is what's about to stop working. The algorithm is changing, the CPMs are rising, and creative cycles are shortening. And the brands that don't adapt by Q1 of 2026 are going to get left behind. I've helped 7- and 8-figure e-commerce brands stay ahead of every Meta update, from the iOS 14 changes to the Advantage Plus rollouts. And if there's one thing I've learned over the years is that if you wait until the changes happen before you start to change yourself, then you're already behind. And there's one truth I've learned. If you wait until the market shifts to change, you're already dead. In this video, I'll show you 5 things you must implement right now to dominate Facebook ads in 2026, even as competition, AI, and CPMs explode. And at the end of this video, I'll show you how we helped one of our clients prepare early for the Andromeda update, and their revenue is up 50% year over year, while everyone else is panicking. And so, quick background on myself. My name is Jordan Hayes. I've been running a marketing agency for the past 5 years. We help e-commerce brands scale. You can go over to my website, hayesmedia.co, and look at some of our case studies. We've helped e-commerce brands scale by quite a lot over the years. The way that we do that is we build Facebook ad creatives, we run the media buying, we actually manage the ads, and we also do retention marketing, which is email and SMS. So you can actually come here, look at what we do, look at the case studies, watch some video testimonials from our clients, and if you are interested, you can book a call with me. It's an exploratory call to see if we can actually help you scale. And what we do is we do a due diligence on your current situation and where you want to get to, understand your current position as a brand, and see if we can actually help. Okay? So that's something that's interesting. There's a link down below. It'll take you directly to my calendar, and you can go ahead and book a time. So let's get right into the video. So step 1 is about rebuilding your creative pipeline. Creative diversity, especially with Andromeda updates, is now the new competitive edge when it comes to running Facebook ads. And our mindset is shifting from having a creative or design team to building a creative lab. And that consists of one strategist who mines insights from comments, UGC, Reddit, and TikTok to come up with the ideas, the angles, leverages AI to produce ads quickly and create diverse ads that look very, very different. We have 1 to 2 editors who produce 100 creatives per month per editor, right? So depending on whether you run a brand, an agency, we see that one editor can produce 100 creatives per month, 65% video, 35% static. And this could be even higher with the use of AI as well. And the target is that you go from concept to live ad in under 72 hours, right? So 3-day turnaround time from the idea to the ad being live in the ad account on Meta, okay? You need to shorten the cycle because now Meta is just eating up creatives and content, right? Even faster than before. And the speed at which you can create and launch and test new ads is going to allow you to have that edge over your competition as well. So key insights moving into 2026, Meta's AI, it optimizes for signal volume, but also creative diversity, okay? And this also comes back to consolidation, right? The more you can consolidate, the more you can keep ad creatives within ad sets, less campaigns where possible, then you're going to be able to group signal volume as well. And the more quality creative signals you can send is also the more profitable data as well. And this has always been the case with Meta, right? Just being able to send it a lot of data, making sure like your conversion API is installed, your event quality scores are high, like those sorts of things. Those are baseline foundation things that have mattered for years, but they're going to become even more important in 2026. So if it's been a while since you've checked your event match quality scores, go to your events manager, check those scores. Your purchase events should be at least 9 out of 10. And you should be doing things to get that higher, right? Making sure your CAPI is installed, using server-side tracking, all that good stuff. By the way, if you're a new viewer here, my name is Jordan Hayes. I actually run a marketing agency where we help e-commerce brands scale their revenue profitably. Now, if you're running an e-commerce brand, you're doing over 100K per month in revenue, and you're facing challenges with scale, maybe your ads or your funnel is not working as well as it used to or should be, or even if it's just a lack of time and resource to put into scaling this part of the business, then that's exactly what we help with. So down below this video, there'll be a link to book a call with me. We'll have a conversation about your business, learn more about the challenges, your objectives, and see if there's a fit for us to work together. Worst case scenario, I can provide some insights as we're seeing with our other clients to help you at your current stage of your business. And as I mentioned, this is for brands who are doing at least 100K per month in revenue and they need help with scaling and obviously want to scale profitably. And in the way in which we help brands scale is we provide services across both customer acquisition and customer retention, done for you services which are completely hands off. We take care of everything for you. And that includes media buying, CRO, landing pages, ad creative, email marketing, SMS marketing, overall growth strategy, lifetime value optimization, all that stuff. Okay. So with that said, let's get back to the video. An example of this in practice is that one of our clients, they scaled from 200K per month to 600K per month by increasing their testing volume from 15 ads per month to 15 ads per week. Okay. Now we have a team, a creative lab that pumps out these creatives and we have the ability to do so. So a lot of the times when brands come to us, they're just not testing enough ads. Okay. So you can improve the quality for sure, but you also need to improve the quantity. And that's a big lever that you're going to have to pull going into 2026 for your Facebook ads. Step 2 is identity mapping over targeting. So we know at this point that Meta knows your audience better than you. Okay. So I'm not here to talk about, interest-based targeting and lookalikes. What I'm talking about is that your creative should be doing the targeting for you. Meta is smart enough to know who they should be targeting based on the creatives that you're producing. So the edge in 2026 is all about understanding identities, okay? So step one is all about creating identity frameworks. This allows you to understand and create different ads for different identities, right? So what you want to do in a spreadsheet or a table, wherever it is, you have 3 columns. Column 1 is who your customers think they are, right? Self-concept. Column 2 is all about who they want to be. And column 3 is all about the emotion that bridges that gap. Once you have this laid out, you can easily create ads that take a customer and meet them where they're at, take them through the transformation stage as to where they want to be, tie that in with the emotional outcome, the actual desire, and then your product is just the vehicle that brings them from A to B, okay? And that is one way that you want to start creating ads. So the strategy shift going into 2026 here is you want to target desired outcomes, not just customer demographics. And each creative must hit a key transformation that your customer will experience by using your product. And then what you do is you let Meta find those that are most likely to convert. So step number 3 is all about integrating AI and human hybrid testing loops. So we use automation for the media buying, and we use humans for the strategy and using the data to be able to create the next versions of the ads that we're going to produce, okay? So going into 2026, the workflow needs to look something like this. You use AI for voiceovers, for B-roll and talking heads to create your ads. So again, it's going to allow you to create a lot more ads a lot faster. Then you want to load those creators into a CBO or an Advantage Plus campaign. And then you want to let your human strategist analyze the correlations between the winning ads, the ads that are getting the spend, the ads that are getting the best performance. And you want to double down on those styles of ads. It doesn't mean that you create a bunch of variations and iterations. You do that, but you also create same idea, same concept of the ad, but very, very different. Change the way that the person looks, the avatar, change the background, change the accent, change the script. Do something that allows Meta to see this as a net new creative. And that allows you to continue doubling down on the things that are working while maintaining the creative diversity that Meta wants you to maintain. You want to start tracking your creative win rate. If you're not doing this already, it's tracking the number of winning ads per 10 ads tested, okay? So average is about 0.5 per 10 ads tested, meaning you would have to test 20 ads to find one winner based on your current benchmarks. Elite is when you test 10 ads and 2 or 3 of those actually become winners. Now, this is even more difficult to achieve now than it was a few years ago. So I would say even if you can achieve 1 in 10, you're still pretty good, okay? And to create 10 ads now with AI is very, very fast and is a lot more cost effective than it was even just a few months ago. So an example of this is that brands are creating hundreds of ads per week with AI tools like Nano Banana and HeyGen, 2 tools that you can check out to produce more image ads with Nano Banana and produce more video ads with HeyGen and avatars, talking heads, and also B-roll as well. And produce video ads, talking heads with HeyGen avatars. So the next step is all about cash velocity and payback windows, and you need to start thinking like a financial institution. So what I mean by this is that we have 2 core metrics, cash velocity index and your payback period. And it's important to know where you stand with both of these metrics because it's going to predict how fast you can scale. Real quick, if you're still running ads like it's 2023, you're about to bleed profit. We've helped 8-figure operators rewire their ad creative systems, and it usually starts with 3 areas: their creative velocity, their identity frameworks, and their cash velocity tracking. For the next 4 weeks, I'm taking free consultation calls with e-commerce brand owners and operators who want to rework their ad creative systems and future-proof them for 2026. I'll share how to book that call in just a second, but first, let me show you an example of how we helped one of our clients prepare for the Andromeda update ahead of time and how they've already grown revenue 50% year over year while everyone else is panicking. So when Meta released the Andromeda update, we made one big decision: stop fighting the algorithm. We doubled our creative volume, we consolidated our campaigns, and we gave Meta more control. Fewer campaigns, fewer ad sets, more ads per ad set, less manual bidding, more automated media buying. And that actually frees us up to focus more on creative, but also focus more on offer, the landing page, and really just optimizing the other areas of the funnel that really matter. And at first, this actually hurt us. MER in Q2, it jumped 17% higher than the year before. And most brands would have pulled back, right? And they would have panicked and gone back to the old strategy, but we stayed the course, following exactly what Meta's documentation said: more creative diversity, higher volume, more automation. Then in Q3, last quarter, everything flipped. The MER dropped 22% year over year while we increased ad spend by 15% year over year. And that's when it clicked. Andromeda rewards volume, variety, and also trust in the system. Your changes and your improvements aren't going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time, and you're going to have to weather the storm in the short term to be able to survive in the long term. Now, that being said, just because you follow what Andromeda is telling you to do doesn't mean that your business is going to magically scale depending on the position you're in, right? You still need to work on the other areas of the funnel, the offer, the product market fit, actually sell something that people want so they come back and buy again. Those very foundational basic things. This is, we're just talking about Facebook performance and MER. So Facebook ads aren't dying, they're evolving. And when your creative velocity outpaces the algorithm, and when you dial in your creative velocity, when your identity mapping replaces outdated targeting, and you really understand your cash velocity index and your payback periods to optimize those further, you're already playing the 2026 game while everyone else is chasing 2023 tactics. Now, if you want a free consultation with me to future-proof your Facebook ads, click the link below. It's going to take you to my calendar. You can book a call directly with me. We'll show you what's breaking, what's changing, and how to rebuild your ad machine before the rest of the market catches on. So we know that CPMs are rising year over year, so the way to win isn't cheaper ads, it's faster payback. Okay, so don't just look at your ROAS, look at these two metrics, cash velocity index and payback period. So cash velocity index, it answers the question, how quickly does my cash generate more cash? And now to calculate this, you take your revenue or your cash inflow in 30 days and you divide it by the average cash balance or ad spend, all right? Another way you can do this is you can take 30 and you could divide it by the payback period in days if you know your payback period, all right? So why does this matter? Well, a CVI, a cash velocity index below 1, it means that your business doesn't replenish its cash balance within a 30-day window, okay? So that means your cash outflow returns slower than it's deployed. A CVI, a cash velocity index above 1, that means you're completing more than one cash cycle per month, and that's a strong position to self-fund ad reinvestment without needing extra capital. And a quick rule of thumb here, if your cash velocity index is above 1, it's pretty healthy, and if it's below 1, you have a risk of liquidity squeeze, meaning you have a risk of running out of cash to fund ad spend reinvestment. So now let's talk about payback period. And payback period answers the question, how long until I get my money back? So you calculate this by taking your initial investment and you divide it by the net cash flow per period. And why does this matter? Well, if it takes too long to recover your ad spend, you're going to run out of deployable cash, even if the business is profitable on paper. So best-in-class payback period is below 15 days, and moderate is 15 to 30 days, and risky is when you're, I would say, above 30 days, more above 45 days. You become a little bit more constrained on your scale. Now, what are some ways that you can actually optimize your payback period? The first thing you could do is you can negotiate faster payout terms with Shopify, which hard to do. Stripe, again, hard to do. So other things you can do is you can improve your gross margin or your AOV through bundling on that first purchase. You can also increase post-purchase upsells. You can shorten the purchase to fulfillment cycle, and finally increase the cash collected up front on that first order by getting people to spend more money with you. So the bottom line is that when you know your cash velocity index and your payback period and you improve them, you can scale more aggressively because you can outturn your competitors' cash. So two very, very important metrics to understand where you are right now and then see how you can improve them to be in a more optimal position to scale your ad spend going into 2026. Step 5 is a unified ecosystem approach. So it's all about breaking down the walls between ads, CRO, retention, and unifying those as one system, okay? So we build a performance ecosystem. What this means is that the ad angle mirrors the landing page headline. There's a match there, it's congruent. Then the offer is also consistent from ad to emails. And post-purchase, we reinforce the transformation narrative that we speak about in our ads, across our website, landing pages, etc. So everything speaks to each other rather than these siloed areas. So the 2026 success formula is that meta ads don't end at the click. They're the front end of a brand experience. They're the way that customers get introduced to the brand. And then you need to align multiple channels to speak to each other to uphold the brand, but to also create cohesion and to make the customer hear the same thing over and over again. Because they need to hear the same thing over and over again to be convinced that it's going to work for them, right? And to actually remember and recall it. So an example is that one of our clients, we took them from unprofitable to profitable in just 5 months by aligning meta ads, landing pages, and email strategy. Now, this wasn't the only thing that we did, but there was a huge part of just making sure that all these channels were speaking to each other, because customers would come into a meta ad, they wouldn't convert, and they would join our email list, but then there was disconnect. Okay, we're talking about different things. And what we did is we aligned those areas so that they're actually speaking to each other, singing off the same hymn sheet, as you could say. And as a result, customers start to convert at a higher rate. And a bonus step, number 6, is building proprietary attention assets. Now, this is all about owning attention and not just reach. Okay, so you run meta ads, but you don't own that attention, right? You're buying it from Meta, right? That's rented ground. So what I recommend you do is you build internal media properties, a podcast, right? That allows you to get brand authority and have an owned audience. TikTok and Instagram Reels allows you to get that top of funnel awareness, which really, really helps and has a halo effect on your ad performance. Private communities, this gives you a customer data moat, right? Also, again, you own your customers. Email list is another one, right? It's an owned channel. And within a private community, this could be hosted on Discord, Facebook group, whatever, okay? So the way you need to be thinking about this going into 2026 and beyond is that every ad dollar you spend should grow owned attention, okay? It shouldn't just be to get a click to a website and a purchase, okay? We really need to be thinking more long-term here as we go into 2026. Having an owned audience also allows you to hedge against rising CPMs. You're not reliant on Facebook ads, Google ads, whatever, right? You have different ways that you can acquire and retain customers. And the way to look at this is you're buying long-term attention. You're not just buying sales or a customer. You're buying that long-term attention, right? You're moving them to a place where you can actually contact them over and over again, and you don't have to pay all the time to reacquire that customer.